I don't know if you can hear me, but I am on my way to Stratford. I was in Shoreditch earlier doing some work, and now I need to go and pick up some shoes from Shoe in Westfield Stratford. So I've got like a IKEA bag to try and hold them all, and then we're back to Shoreditch so I can get a lift home for my sister, and then I need to get some, what I want to get some dinner as well, but I think I'll do that back in Shoreditch. Where should we start? Today is Wednesday, it's Wednesday afternoon. I am getting ready to go to a physio appointment. I have had some issues with my lower back in the past, over like the last year or so. I think poor form in the gym might have caused it during the earlier years when I first started training. After that, we are going to go and do some work. As you saw yesterday, I went to Shoe, which is, I want to say it's a European shoe store. I haven't opened the package yet. Obviously, I know what I got, but how much fun would it be to unpack them on camera? So I've still got this package here. It's got about 6 or 5 shoe boxes in here, and they packaged it quite well. I got it home okay. So let's start with the ballet flats, because these are not going to be worn now. They're like a spring shoe, but I couldn't pass up on the opportunity to get a pair of discounted shoes. So that's like the Mary Jane. I want to say this is the Mary Jane. As you can see, it's like a net sort of shoe. I like these sort of translucent, netty sort of flats. They're my vibe. I've got two pairs that aren't quite like this. They're not jelly shoes, but they're like net sort of flats. They remind me of a shoe that I might have had as a kid, but a little bit more refined, a little bit more chic. I got these for £9.99. I think they were discounted down from like £26 or something like that, which is quite a steal in my opinion, but I'm going to reserve these for spring. These are a light blue version, but they haven't got the strap going across. These are another like cute sort of spring sort of shoe. So these are the sock boot that I got. They're like satin, and they've got like a slightly off kilter heel on them. It's angled out a little bit. I just wanted some shoes to like go to dinner and just something that offers a little bit of a clip-clop on a journey to like an evening meal. And these are boots. So they forgot my Crocs. I'm gonna have to go back and get those, or I'm just gonna like get them to send them off to my house instead. Just some standard Chelsea boots almost, but they're a little bit more bikerish in my opinion, and they're a little bit more shiny. These were $14.99, they were down from like 50, so they look tiny, they look like children's shoes, but I assure you they're not. They're size 6, that's my shoe size. So looking at this, they have forgotten my Crocs for some reason. My Crocs were like a burnt orange kind of vibe, but I will show them when I collect them from the store, or I kind of just want to send them to the house, to be honest. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to sort it out. To be collected, I can just pop a text message back to let you know, or I can give you a call back. Could you maybe give me a call back, because I just want to explore what my options might be, because I think I'd prefer it to just be sent to my house. It's hitting 1:30 now. I need to leave in the next like 10 minutes or so that I'm not like running up the road to the doctor's. But as I said, after that we're going to go and sit in Cafe Nero and do some work. I have written a devotional because it is a Wednesday, so that was written yesterday. I am a writer, I have a substack, and I write twice a week. I write a faith mini essay that publishes on a Wednesday, and it's dealing with the challenges and different personal experiences within the Christian faith specifically. The other essay is a culture essay that comes out on a Sunday, and that is just a very broad sort of essay that deals with anything from current affairs to personal anecdotes. The devotion that just went out is about knowing God as a protector. I have had many different... I just got a text from Shu. I've had different experiences I was reflecting on over the last week, where God's kind of swooped in and protected me from things that would have otherwise gone quite awry. Relationships that might not have been the most fruitful in the long run, or even in the present, where the true nature of the relationship was maybe hidden. And then just general events that are unforeseen that could have come along and maybe traumatized me or partially altered my life, and he's kind of swooped in and intervened and dealt with those things so that I didn't have to experience them. And I've had to accept as well that a lot of the time when he does that, it doesn't really feel that way, and it feels like confusing, it feels harsh. Sometimes he swoops in unprovoked and he just like handles things, and other times he kind of prompts you to pray for protection or guidance and just general safety if you can discern that things maybe aren't quite right. So sometimes it's a little bit more collaborative, and other times God just intervenes without you needing to ask him to, when he can see how things are unfolding. And also just really like feeling the amount of peace that sort of dynamic offers. That even includes the things that we experience that aren't the most pleasant, that are allowed to happen simply because God can see they're not going to rip up your life irreparably in the long run, and that there's actually something to be gained. And now that's not saying that there are things that happen to us that are not awful or traumatic, because that's just the nature of life, that's the world we live in, and that's not really anything to do with God and his goodness and what he does or doesn't allow. It's just kind of the nature of the world in a sense. But there's a large bulk of things that we experience that are actually permitted because there's something in it for us to learn. So that is what the devotional is about in a roundabout way. As I always say, I think that these things are better read than they are listened to. I will link it, I'll put it on the screen somewhere, and I'll put the link in the description box. But I now really do need to go. I've got my laptop in this little Specsavers tote, and I am going to throw like my other bits in there as well, and we're gonna run. I'm not feeling confident about my decision to leave the house today. It isn't raining right now, but it's been raining all morning. I'm feeling very low energy, which is why I'm going out. I obviously have some work I need to be doing, and I am not the best work from home person, if that phrase even makes sense. Yesterday, we did a pretty good job with getting ourselves in a good kind of place for today. I just did the plan and the intro for the essay I'm writing, and I'm writing an essay this week about changing your mind and the shame and the stigma of changing your mind, especially as a relatively young person. I mean, I'm in my like mid to late 20s, I'm 27. I find that I have a hard time backtracking on things that I thought or felt in the past, and that even comes down to like reading some of my really old essays, or even essays I wrote last year, and realising that I've kind of evolved, and I find it hard to accept that. I think it's around this sort of age that you just feel like the person that you are today is going to be the person you are forever, which is also just something that we know isn't true. But it's a bit of a delusion that I personally can't escape from, so I am writing about that this week. And I'm surprised I even kind of put coherent thoughts together to explain that, because I'm very fuzzy this afternoon. I had a bit of a terrible night's sleep last night. Yesterday was a little bit of a flop. When we went out to go and do some work, I did some of it, and then I spent most of the time on the phone to my sister and a little bit of a mother's meeting. I really want to be in a good place with it by the weekend. Preferably, I want to have it on like a second to third draft sort of basis. So that's what we're going to go and do now. I feel very small sitting down. I'm sitting down on my bed, and I normally shoot videos in that corner by the window, but it's pretty much dark already, and so I'm sitting down. But my Crocs came, and I thought we could unbox them to complete our shoe haul. I haven't seen these in person. Don't know how the colour's going to translate. Okay, so the Crocs that I ordered were like a burnt orange, rusty sort of copper vibe, and these are how they look in person. They're pretty much a red, which, first of all, they look tiny. Secondly, they look better on camera actually. I think it's because the ring light behind is like lighting them up, and maybe on camera I'm hoping they're like more true to colour. I'd have to like look at them in proper daylight to be able to tell, but these are the Crocs, and I like them, to be honest. They're different. Things tend to grow on me. I was very sure of them when I ordered them, and then now I'm seeing them in person. I'm a little bit unsure, but I am quite sure that they will grow on me, because that's generally how I form my tastes. So anyway, today's Sunday. I have just been getting on with a little bit of work this morning. I pretty much finished the essay it's due out today, the culture essay, and I just need to read through it again. We're kind of wrapping up the writing season this year. I typically take a break, like a Christmas break slash New Year break, around like mid-December, and we are now on the 7th, so next week will be my last writing week for the year. And it's been bittersweet. I didn't so much struggle with formulating new ideas this year, or just being like keeping on as much as I have in years gone by. Obviously, the reason I'm able to be so consistent in like having something to write about each week is because obviously God inspires a lot of the things that I write, and even when there's not like a specific reference to scripture or my relationship with God, it's always like behind the scenes inspiring different topics and how I like think about things. So I've got a few things that I want to work out for the year to come, and so I feel like I need a little bit of space to kind of figure out how I'm going to go about next year in regards to writing and content and stuff like that. I think that we're ending quite strong. This essay that I've written today, or the essay rather that's going out today, is a pretty strong one, and I'm quite happy with what I've been able to achieve writing wise this year. I think I've been quite ambitious with the topics that I've been covering and the way that I've been covering them. Whereas in the past, I feel like there are areas that would have been no-go zones because I would have felt like I was underqualified to write about them, particularly in the way of current affairs and politics and what's been going on in the world as of late. I don't know if immature is the right word, but I wouldn't have felt or qualified, as I said, to cover them with any amount of justice, and I kind of just leapt into the deep end this year and covered them anyway, and I was happy with what I was able to produce. So yeah, that's a mini summary of what's been going on in my world writing wise. I'm not going to do the whole like 2025 reflections thing in this vlog because we've still got a good amount of the month to go, but yeah, I can't believe that we're already here. If this is the end of the vlog, then thank you for watching. I feel like I've been quite consistent in vlogging this week. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent generally speaking, and just like trying to make the vlogs a little bit more interesting and well put together. So I hope that's reflecting, and I will see you probably tomorrow, well in the next vlog, because I'm just going to continue vlogging from this point on pretty much until the end of the year. So